Hey, welcome to our deep dive. Today, we're going to talk about a topic that resonates with so many of us: depression. Have you ever felt trapped in a loop of negative thoughts, spinning around and around with no way out? Well, today we are going to explore what the true root causes behind this really are. Let us cut straight to the core. Every single one of us, to some degree, experiences pain, frustration, or a sense of being lost, right? But have you ever actually sat down and wondered where all of this truly comes from? The material we are analyzing today offers an incredibly profound perspective, one that might completely flip your worldview. The surface symptoms and the tip of the iceberg. First, let us look at the symptoms. Nowadays, so many people struggle with depression and a lack of focus. This is no longer a niche struggle. It is a widespread phenomenon. That is the starting point of our analysis. Do these symptoms sound familiar? A mysterious, lingering low mood, losing focus after just 5 minutes of reading, feeling like you will become stupider or that your memory is failing, a brain that feels like it is on single-track repeat, playing a happy memories over and over. If you experienced this, don't you worry, you are definitely not alone. According to our data, these are just the tip of the iceberg. The true root of greed, desire, attachment. So, what is the actual cause? The data points to a hidden internal term driven by a single word: greed. Now, when I say greed, don't you just think about money. Its meaning is far broader. In the philosophy we are exploring today, it refers to a deeper, more fundamental craving or desire, a state of stickiness. For example, a craving validation from others, endlessly scrolling social media for likes, clinging to past traumas and refusing to let go. All of these are manifestations of greed. This perspective is very direct. Greed is attachment, and attachment is greed. They are two ways of describing the same thing: the state of clutching onto a person, a feeling, or an idea and refusing to let go. This attachment keeps us trapped in a cycle of wanting, failing to obtain, and suffering. Where ancient wisdom meets modern science, this is where it gets fascinating. We are seeing a stunning connection between ancient philosophical concepts and modern science. The data mentions our attachment to sweetness as a form of greed, and this has a scientific basis. Research shows that a craving for sugar can cause physical damage to the brain in as little as 4 days. It has a domino effect. It starts with a seemingly harmless attachment, e.g., a love for sweets. This greed damages brain function, memory and analytical skills decline. Ultimately, this leads to depression or systemic issues like diabetes. While ancient philosophy identifies the root, greed, modern science studies the symptoms triggered by that root. They aren't in conflict. They are two different lenses looking at the same truth. The texture of your soul. Think about your inner world. What is its texture? Is it like glass, brittle and easily shattered? Or is it like a resilient sponge, compressed but able to bounce back? This texture determines how you react to life's impacts. Imagine you are walking down the street and get bitten by a dog. If your soul's texture is damaged or fragile, you might spiral into "why am I so unlucky?" or "the world is out to get me," leading to days of depression. If your texture is resilient, you might find the space to understand that the dog was perhaps scared or insecure. You don't take it personally. In psychology, the constant replaying of negative events is called rumination. In this philosophy, it is called delusion. This delusion drains your mental energy like too many apps running in the background of your phone, pulling you into the mud of negative emotions. A story of true strength, a Saraputta. To understand what a resilient soul looks like, consider the story of the sage Saraputta. While he was out begging for alms, a dog suddenly rushed up and bit him. His reaction: he didn't get angry, and he didn't wallow in self-pity. Instead, he took food from his bowl and gave it to the dog that had just bitten him. because his heart was filled with compassion. He had no attachment to being offended or victimized. Without attachment, there is no suffering. True strength isn't about being bulletproof. It is about the softness of compassion. Why is discipline so hard? We understand the logic. So why do we struggle to be disciplined? Why do we still eat that cake or procrastinate until the last second? The answer is we know it with our heads, but we don't know it with our hearts. There is a massive gap between intellectual knowledge and deep realization. It is like knowing smoking is bad for you versus truly grasping the gravity of that harm in your soul. True discipline is not an act of willpower. It is the natural result of awakening. Someone who truly understands the nature of things doesn't need to force themselves to be disciplined. They simply won't indulge in self-harm because they see how foolish it is. We shouldn't strive for stronger willpower, but for deeper wisdom. Final thought. I'll leave you with this. Those past events that hurt you are like trash you've already thrown into the bin. Are you still reaching into that mental trash can, pulling them out, and smelling them over and over again? Perhaps it is time to leave the trash in the bin.